In the hundreds of women that I've supported in their sex lives in the past few years, one of the most insidious challenges to overcome is performing in bed instead of actually experiencing pleasure. This shows up as faking orgasms, enduring things that you might not really like because your partner likes it, and just pretending to like things that you don't. And I've done all of these things. It might feel like the easy way to avoid an awkward moment or spare your partner's feelings, but faking it is doing more harm than good, not just for you, but also for your relationship. So if you've ever felt pressure to perform or pretended to enjoy something that you didn't really like, this video is for you. So I'm Hannah, also known as the Libido Fairy, and I've helped over 1,500 women reconnect with their bodies, reignite intimacy, and have mind-blowing real orgasms in their relationships. So in this video, I'm going to break down why faking orgasms hurts your sex life and what you can do instead, and how to create a deeper connection with your partner while enjoying sex more than ever. So let's dive in. Why do so many women fake their orgasms? The truth is that most of us don't fake it because we're malicious or manipulative. It usually comes from a place of pressure. Pressure to make our partner feel good, to end sex if we're not really into it, or to meet some invisible standard of what sex should look like. But here's the thing, when you fake it, you are sending the total wrong signal to your partner about what works for you. And even worse, you're disconnecting from your pleasure and your desires. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you are actually not alone. Studies show that about 60% of women admit to faking an orgasm at some point in their lives. My guess is that number is actually a little bit higher, but those are the people that'll admit it. But here's the real problem. When you fake it, you create a cycle where your needs aren't being met and your partner thinks everything's fine. The result of that is resentment, disconnection, and a sex life that feels more like a chore than something that you actually look forward to. So let's talk about why faking orgasms is so damaging, not just for you, but for your relationship. So first, it teaches your body and your mind to ignore your needs. When you fake it, you're essentially telling yourself, my pleasure doesn't matter. Over time, that mindset can create a disconnect between you and your body. Your body's trying to send you a signal of what it needs and you're ignoring it. Second, it creates a false sense of success for your partner. If they think what they're doing is working, why would they change? They're not a mind reader, and faking it robs them of the chance to actually learn what you enjoy. Finally, it prevents deeper intimacy. Great sex isn't just about orgasms. It's about trust and vulnerability and connection. And you can't have that if you're not being honest with your partner. So what do you do instead of faking it? I'm going to break that down into some actionable steps, but before I get to those steps, if you are liking the video so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Okay, cool, here we go. So step one is getting curious about your pleasure. The first step is really to figure out what actually feels good to you. My favorite way to do that is spend time exploring your body through self-pleasure, experimenting with different types of touch and speed and sensations. This tool is called pleasure mapping, and it's an essential tool that I teach step by step inside of my signature program, the Intimacy Accelerator. When you take the time to focus on your pleasure and give yourself the pleasure through your touch, you're not only affirming that you deserve it, but you're also discovering what works for you. And then you can share that with your partner. Think of it as an experiment. There is no right or wrong, it's just a discovery process. Also, when you know what you enjoy, it is so much easier to communicate that. You can even demonstrate, which is my favorite thing. Instead of telling your partner what you like, you can just have them watch you touch yourself, which is so hot, by the way. So step number two is have an honest conversation. This can feel really intimidating, but it's actually a major step towards intimacy. So choose a neutral, relaxed time to talk, ideally not during sex, and let your partner know that you want to focus on making intimacy even better for both of you. So here's an example of a script that you could use. So I want to share something with you because I care about our relationship. Do you have the space to listen and not get upset? This is super vulnerable for me to share. And then they consent. And then you say, so sometimes I've pretended to enjoy things that I didn't really like, that didn't really work for me, but I want us to explore what feels amazing for both of us. So can we talk about how we can do that? As scary as that step is, the whole point of sex is connection, right? This kind of honesty and vulnerability is a straight beeline for that. It's also so crucial that your partner is on board, because if you commit internally to not faking it anymore, they're probably going to start to wonder why the stuff that they were doing before that they thought worked now doesn't work. And if they do have feelings about this, it is normal. You did kind of lie to them for a little while, so be understanding if they have some kind of sadness or upset come up. But remember, you're on the same team, and this honesty is a step towards that. So step number 3 is making real-time adjustments. So when you're in the moment, don't be afraid to gently guide your partner, especially if you've had this conversation with them. Use phrases like, "Oh, I love it when you do this. Can you keep going?" Or, "Oh, that feels pretty good. Can we try this instead?" Remember, your partner wants you to enjoy yourself, and they need your guidance. If you're afraid that speaking up is going to ruin the moment, but you're doing something that you don't like, that moment is already ruined. Which brings me to this point. What really needs to happen for you at a deeper level is reframing what success in sex actually means. It's not about how many orgasms you have or how long you last or about how good you look when you're performing. It's about connection, pleasure, and mutual enjoyment. If you focus on creating a space where both you and your partner feel seen and safe and satisfied and connected, the orgasms will just be a happy byproduct of that. And even if they don't happen, the experience itself will still feel amazing. The point of sex is not to finish. It's not to have an orgasm. You can do that on your own just fine. Sex with a partner is about something else, something you can't get on your own, like connection or playfulness or adventure or mutual enjoyment or escape into another world together through pleasure and experimentation. If you reframe the goal of sex to something other than orgasms, I promise you, your experience will get better. Remember, faking orgasms might feel like an easy fix in the moment, but it is not a long-term solution for connected, fulfilling intimacy. When you choose honesty, curiosity, and connection, you're actually opening the door to a sex life that is truly fulfilling for you and your partner. And if you're ready to dive deeper into how to make sex more pleasurable, check out my video, 5 tips to make sex more satisfying for women. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.